Hey guys, we're in my shop today and we're going to talk about lead. Lead that we use for fishing, free drifting, drift fishing, etc. I like to use 3/16 pencil lead, solid core. It may not be the right type of lead for everybody, but this is what I use, and I use a lot of it. I always get questions from anglers in my boat as to how I cut lead and how I determine how much it weighs. Well, the truth is, I don't actually worry about the weight of the lead. Rather, I cut lead based on length. I start all of my lead at 1 inch and I go up 1/4 inch increments until I have a selection from 1 inch to 2 1/4 inches. If I go beyond 2 1/4 inches, then I just switch to something like a cannonball or some other type of system. But in fact, I never use pencil lead longer than 2 1/4 inches. So when I do my lead, I use a machine, and we'll get to that in a second, but I first want to show you how you can cut your lead so that it's the same length time and time again if you don't have a machine like what I have. So to cut lead at home, the first thing you need some lead. I've just got a short piece right now, but you know you can buy small spools of lead. You need a pair of lead pliers. These pliers, not only they look like needle nose, they've got a set of dikes, but they have a punch right here, and that's what we're going to punch the hole for our lead. To be precise, so that you have the right length of lead, you want a ruler, and then you want something like this small, inexpensive knife I use to scribe my lines. You can use a permanent marker, but I find that these knives or some type of scribe tool makes a real simple mark. So let's get started. The first thing is, and this is simple, you just have to determine what type of lead do you want. So if I decide I want 1 inch increments on my lead, I simply line my lead up, and right here at the 1 inch mark, I'm going to scribe it so I see that mark. So I'm just going to go right there at 1 inch, and I'm going to come down with a mark. If I want more than one, just come to the number 2, and I make a mark. I can see those marks on there, no problem. You will be able to as well. Once you make those marks, you want to take the dike portion of your needle nose pliers and you want to cut directly on that mark. And all you want to do is snap it off. We've snapped that one. We come over. We snap the next one. And I've got 2 1 inch pieces of lead right there. Real simple. So that gets us to the correct length. Now we need to get them punched so that we can use them on the river and fish. Now what I do is I take my pliers, and before I just start punching, and a lot of guys just go and punch it, I'll put my lead in there just a little bit and I'll flatten it out, just like that. Now what that does is it allows me to put my hole a lot closer to the edge so that if I get hung up on my lead, it'll break away. So now I'm going to punch the lead. I get my punch lined up and I punch it. That hole is right next to the edge of my lead. I would prefer to have this than to have it too far back and then I break my snap swivel. Because if I ruin the snap swivel, I have to completely retie and get my bead, my snap swivel on there, my 4mm bead, and get everything tied up and then put new lead on. So this type of distance right here is just perfect. That's all it takes to cut your own pencil lead, and your measurements will be precise. And if that isn't enough to get you down to the bottom of the river, you can go up a size and so forth and so on. Okay, so now that you know how to cut lead at home using a pair of lead pliers, let's get into how I like to cut lead. Cowlitz River Sales.com sells a lead cutting machine, and I just love this thing. I've used it for years. I find I get lead cut consistently, time after time. And boy, when I need lead, I literally spend maybe 15 minutes and I can fill my lead box with a variety of sizes. Okay guys, so let's talk about the lead cutter by CowlitzRiverSales.com. This is a very well-built unit. I've had this for over 6 years. I've cut tons of lead. I've never had a problem with it. In fact, you can buy the extra replacement knives to put in here. I still haven't had to do that. This is a solid unit. Now what I did is I mounted this to a 1x6 board when at the other end I've got a spool set up so that it holds my lead in place, and I clamp it to my bench so that it doesn't move around, because when I'm cutting lead, man, I'm going quick and I'm pumping lead out really fast. I added a little piece of board in front that just keeps that lead that falls to the front from falling and going to the ground. Okay. Another nice feature with this cutter is it's adjustable. This is adjustable. You can go, I mean, man, you can go under an inch all the way out to 4 inches of lead if you feel the need to go that far. I have this set right now at 1.5 inches. So before you get started, you're gonna need to spray a little bit of lubricant right here on the cutting knife. Just a little spray, something like WD-40, because as you're cutting this lead, it starts getting a little sticky. When you feel that stickiness, just give it a little spritz of lubricant, and that'll keep that cutting nice and fast. I've already sprayed this, and so when you first begin to cut, you're going to put your lead in, and you don't have an eye or anything. You need to sacrifice a little piece of lead. So when that lead's there, go ahead and come down and cut it. And what that's going to do is you'll sacrifice a small piece, but now it allows you to have the rest of it cut, because what happens is you come to the length that you want and it's time to cut your lead, that's cut, and it now creates the eye for the next piece of lead. So you can come in here and you can just start pushing lead through pretty quick. So this this cutting machine is just phenomenal, especially when you need to cut a lot of lead. It puts the hole in the same spot every single time without fail, and it's just great if you go through a lot of lead. So there you have it, guys. We just went over how you can cut lead at home, have very precise cuts, be consistent, be efficient when you're on the water, and we also looked at CowlitzRiverSales.com lead cutting machine. I'll tell you what, these are phenomenal little tools to have. You're not going to go wrong. Cowlitz River Sales is located in Western Washington near the Cowlitz River. Go to CowlitzRiverSales.com and take a look at the products that they have that might help you be more efficient on the water. Thanks for watching.